Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are discussing Tarleton State University's master's program in construction science and management. And I'm pleased to be joined today by the faculty coordinator for the program. As he is going through his presentation, if you do have questions, we ask that you put them in the Q&A box or the chat box, and we will handle those at the end. But for now, I will just turn things over to him.
Thank you so much, Dr. Milwin. Nice to meet you all here. My name is Dr. Ben Rowe, and you can easily just call me Ben Rowe. I like to go by my name than the doctor, actually. I'm one of the faculty in the construction science and management program, both the undergrad and the master's, but we're going to dwell more on the master's today. Been here for a while. I've enjoyed being here. Tarleton is one of the places I think feels so much like family for me, and the community is a blessing, not only for the faculty, but also for the students. And I think is a place to be to get a higher education and very affordable and resourceful. We have the blessings presently that we don't have enough students for the industry. And I think construction science and management is a fantastic degree to get into right now. All right, so let me quickly talk about our role as construction managers. There are several roles we play as construction managers. We tend to be the one who lead the process of the job, either being a project manager, leading from the office, or being a superintendent, leading on site. And beyond that, we also help troubleshoot in a lot of ways. As project managers, as construction managers, either being a PM or a superintendent, we have to have the ability to troubleshoot. Construction is very, very unique and very dynamic. There would always be certain issues that arise over time. And so one of the key things you learn in having a master's degree in construction science is the ability to manage the process of troubleshooting when issues arise in construction sites. We also have to be very good when it comes to communicating, because if we don't communicate well, then we would have issues on our job. So you would learn your sharp communication skills with both your suppliers, the GCs, everyone on the job, the stakeholders, the clients, everyone on the job. We need to learn how to better communicate so that we can deliver the job on time. Now, one thing that helps us in all of this is the knowledge of the project, either present knowledge or past knowledge. Now, if you're new and you don't have any prior knowledge coming into this, when you come into the construction management program, we give students enough of construction knowledge through the integration of guys from sites. So we bring in companies into our classroom and we allow the space for guest lecture. And we also take our students to sites. Our program is basically online presently. So what we do is we tend to collaborate with a lot of construction, GCs, subcontractors, suppliers that come into our class to guest lecture, or we use their projects as a means to help in transferring the right construction knowledge. Now, through this process, you also have to report and monitor your project effectively. So as construction managers, our ability to understand our projects through regular monitoring and reporting is very fundamental, because without doing that, you won't get the pay cycle going around effectively. And we want our workers, everyone on site, to be effective and efficient. So it's necessary that when we do our job, when we take in our roles, we're doing the right things, monitoring and reporting the progress of work at every point in time. We also have to be very good when it comes to risk management and quality control, because when you intend to do a job and the job does not meet the required quality, you might have to go tear it off. So you must be able to check all the quality box at every point in time. So as construction managers, either being a superintendent or a PM or an estimator or a scheduler, we intend to work from the beginning of a project to the end of the project, knowing everything. And that is what this program offers you. It offers you the skills for planning, the skills for coordinating, the skills for budgeting, the skills for supervision of everybody on the site, and how to properly manage your budget so much that it meets the client's quality requirements. And when it meets the client's quality requirements, you are sure that you're going to continue earning a job. To survive in this industry, we need the ability to give quality to everything that we do to be prevalent in the job market. Now, why do we need a master's degree in construction? One of the reasons is the growth in the industry. There's so much growth. Presently, and I think I mentioned this earlier, we actually do not have enough graduates to push out to the need that the industry is requesting. Every time, there is always a growth in construction. And how will I explain this better? We always need a place to lay our head. We always need a space to work. We always need a road to commute across. And that is the need, or that's the niche that carves a path for us for industry growth. As people migrate from one position to the other, there's always a need for an infrastructure and facilities for them to survive wherever they are moving to. So there is that industry growth, and there would continue to be the industry growth across the nation globally. There's also the competitive edge. A master's in construction science would give you a competitive edge as compared to those with just a bachelor's degree or those with no degree at all, just opposing for the position in a role. Why? With a master's in construction science and management, you have an almost professional knowledge of so many of the soft skills and soft technologies that are used presently. Gradually, we are beginning to integrate art technology to advance the knowledge of construction graduates. Another thing is also you tend to get into a more leadership role and not just an entry role in the industry. So with a master's in construction science, your leeway of going a step higher is definitely there. You earn a higher pay. And let me say this quickly. Presently, our undergrad program are getting 6 digits annual salary. That's for you to imagine what leverage you have having a master's and more soft skills in construction. So our master's in construction science will give you more advanced skill and knowledge in the technology trend that are being used presently. And to couple up with that, you could add some more licensing and certification that could help you. And with the master's in construction science, if you're interested in the academic route, then it's therefore easier for you to go into a PhD. We don't have that presently, but we're looking at doing that in the near future, where we have a concentrated PhD in our College of Engineering with several focus in different programs, and construction science and management will be one of that. As the industry is growing, our program number is growing, and so there's a need for people in the industry, and there's also a need for teachers in the classroom. And so there is abundance of opportunity in earning a master's degree in construction science. What roles can you fit into with a master's degree in construction science? You can fit into be a cost estimator because you would get more knowledge on the use of software like Revit, Bluebeam. All of the software would help you advance your ability to estimate. I mentioned project manager role. You can go in as a more middle range level project manager on projects. You can also go in as a senior field engineer rather than just going as a field engineer. You can also go in as a construction manager, work with general contractors. Data analyst is another room that is taking significant turn in construction, especially with the introduction of AI. As construction managers, we can learn a lot of AI tools and skills to better engineer the process of construction. And that would give you a path that was previously wasn't existing, but now has been created because of the need to manage data in-house and to store and save data in-house. Another one is the VDC beam. Your exposure to Revit, Navisworks Manage, or Synchros, so many software would give you the ability to do a lot of things in the virtual design construction process and the BIM scope of work. And so getting a job in construction will help you so much that as a construction manager, you would get exposure to a lot of things, and that would help you in advancing your knowledge and getting to a more senior role in the industry. Now, there is no limit to the fact that as construction managers, we can only work in commercial or residential. There is an expansive numbers of companies as construction managers you could work in. Just take a quick search on Google and look for construction managers role. You'll see abundance of them with Facebook, with Meta, with X, with Intel. There's several roles with banks, with clients. There's several roles you can work in as a construction manager. So what is the admission requirements to come into the program? We would always love that people who come into a master's program have a bachelor's in construction or any related program like civil, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, architecture. However, if this is not the case and you don't have a first degree in any of these programs I've mentioned, we also offer leveling courses. So if someone comes out from a bachelor's in business or something or other than construction or civil engineering and is interested in getting a master's in construction, we offer some leveling courses that would help you build up your foundation to get into the master's program. And once you get into the master's program, like I said previously, if you intended to go to the PhD route, the masters can also offer you that opportunity to pursue a PhD career in the future. Now, we do not have any GRE requirement to come into our master's program, and a 2.5 GPA is what we require to accept you as a student in the program. But we need that you maintain a 3.0 GPA throughout your program to have a good standing and be a good student that would go out in the future, either to a PhD program or the industry program in the future. With that being said, we have basically two options. We have the non-thesis track option and the thesis track option. The non-thesis track offers 30 credit hours of construction courses, and our courses are basically project-based, and there are few examinations where you get exposure to a lot of real-time projects, situation monitoring and answering, and also using software to answer questions or give solutions to problem in construction. However, on the other hand, for the thesis track, you're required to do 26 credit hours coursework while you have 6 credit hours research for thesis, which would help the foundation in building the students who want to go in for a PhD route in the future. Now we offer a lot of courses. Like I've said, these are a list of some of our courses. The core courses are 24 credit hours. So for a student who want to go through the non-thesis track, the core courses are required. The students who doesn't want to go through the thesis track would go through the same 24 core courses. And the courses are construction project management principle, where you would have the exposure of learning more about the principles that helps us sustain our construction management policies. Also, leadership in construction, where you gather more knowledge on how to better be a leader and manage all the stakeholders from the clients to the laborer on your site. You'd also be exposed to advanced tools and technology that can be used to manage the cost and cash flow of your project, and also the principles of bidding to win a job. Your exposure to scheduling software that will be used to manage the timing, because two things are basically very important in construction: the cost and the timing. The client wants to know how much it's going to cost him and how long it's going to take you to do the job so that he can recoup back on his investment. And so the skills to use better scheduling tools and manage the projects, you'll be exposed to it through Microsoft Project, Primavera P6. There's some open software that can also be used, And then advanced building information modeling. We use Navisworks Manage, Revit, and Synchro just to learn a lot of dynamics on how buildings can be simulated before it's constructed. And then the productivity in construction and lean fundamentals. The things that would bring about how we can make the construction more effective, faster, and using very, very good materials to reduce the cost for the clients. Some more to the 24 core courses required is the sustainability in construction. We know sustainability is one of the things everyone is going to. We're turning more and more to want to reduce the amount of energy consumption in our building. So you get exposure to how we can do the construction, reducing the energy consumption, and also eliminating the amount of ozone depletion that comes out from construction or constructed facilities. Also, advanced construction materials and method. The materials that should be used will be used for construction, the concepts in which the materials will be used effectively, and the type of equipment that should be used on our projects without unnecessarily having equipment issues and all the likes. For the elective courses, we have the research and fundamental. That will basically go more towards the direction for those who are more research focused and want to go ahead for a PhD. And then you get exposure to contracts and legal issues in construction, and also the ability to manage risk as it comes every time. Because one fundamental thing in construction is our ability to manage risk and learn the next stage. So you have to plan and mitigate risk at every point in time. Because if you don't plan to mitigate your risk analysis is done at the beginning, but it doesn't mean that the solution to all of those risk analysis at the beginning ends. It goes on because there would always be issues that arise. And so your ability to manage risk as it pops up on your construction site, you get an exposure to that through the master's program. There are several benefits. Like I mentioned some of them earlier. You're going to have an increased earning, the ability to quickly go beyond the entry-level position to a more mid-range supervisor or manager, depending on whatever the company is using in its job posting nomenclature. The master's degree in computer science gives you that leverage. It also gives you an exposure to emerging technologies that are being used. A lot of things is changing in construction. The industry is adapting and also using some technologies, and we'll leverage that in our master's program. In our program, the ability to network is also there because, like I said previously, we have a lot of industry professionals that are part of our program, and that gives us a leeway in creating a quick network for people that could be your future employers. And it gives you the opportunity to learn in a way that makes you fit directly into any particular industry. It's also a way for you to enhance quick licensing and certification and gain global recognition. When you have a master's degree in construction science that is not very common, it gives you a leeway, especially into the new trend of advancement with AI or data analysis in construction. I mentioned that we have a lot of companies. This slide shows a lot of the companies that we have partnership with. They're part of our CIAC in the undergrad and also part of our CIAC as a program. They're very involved with us. They're doing well. They employ a lot of our students. We don't have enough for all of them, and we keep working on getting enough for all of them. This is just a few. There are so many others that are also part of it, but we appreciate all of this, our standing CIAC members and their prospective employers that you could get into. Now, I mentioned some earlier that are not on this list, but like I said, there is no limit to where a degree in construction science can take you into. But GCs at the most, there are several other routes that could be considered when you earn a master's in construction science. So to buttress that, this slide will tell you a little bit about some of the other places you can take your master's in CSM into. The first one is construction companies. The slide before this, you saw a list of a lot of the companies that we work with or that are in cooperation with us. You can also take your degree to government agencies, the DOTs, Public Work, Housing Authority. A master's degree in CSM can give you a leeway into this construction consulting firm, either be it a PM, a costs or scheduling or risk management firm, or a client's own organization. You have the leeway in getting into that. Real estate development, whether the real estate for commercial, residential, mixed use, it could be even in, the airport construction. There are a lot of ways you can actually get into most of this job with a master's degree in CSM. Infrastructure and civil projects, a lot of our heavy civil utility companies, underground work, they're endless. EPCs, engineering, procurement, and construction, architectural firm, manufacturing firm, education firm, client-owned, even a one-man company that does construction would definitely need the experience of a master's holder in construction management. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you so much for the time to join this webinar. And if you have any questions, this is my information. I'm open right now to answer questions. And if you want to send me an email or reach me via my office line, the information are right there on this page.
All right, thank you so much. This has been such a thorough presentation, and it's exciting to see all the many different sectors and options people have uh, career-wise with a master's in construction science management. You mentioned that this is an online program. Could you talk more about how the program is actually executed online? Because I would imagine there are many prospective students who really may not be familiar with online learning and can't really imagine what that experience might be like.
Thank you so much for that question. And so the different ways in which we administer the class online. Some of us just load resources on Canvas and open office hours for students to come in to discuss with us. Some of us have resources and videos, especially for classes that have to do with soft technology being learned. There are videos that are necessary to educate students on how to watch the videos and work on their assignment or work on their projects. Some other do videos or videos of themselves or recorded videos. And like I said previously, we also bring in some invited guest lecture and we upload those videos when necessary on our Canvas pages. But majorly, we have office hours and all the resources are uploaded up on Canvas. Beyond the office hours, I think before I walked into this webinar, a master student sent me an email asking a question on an assignment and I needed to respond. And so emails are there for you to also communicate with us as students. We understand that a lot of the students we have presently are working students. Some might be students who are just moving from their undergrad into the master's program, and it allows them the process to come into the advisor's office. But when you're far away from your advisor or your instructor, there are office hours that can be used, email can be used. You can record video and send to your instructor, or your instructor can make a video and send to you. And there are several resources that can make online learning very easy and accessible for whoever, wherever, at any point in time.
Thank you. That's helpful to know. So you mentioned leveling coursework for people who may be coming from academic backgrounds that are not directly construction related, civil engineering related. So can you talk a little bit about what that looks like? How many courses might someone expect to take if they were in that situation?
Thank you so much for that question, Dr. Maywen. Presently, there are 4 courses that will be needed for the leveling course, and most of those 4 courses are foundational courses in estimating, scheduling, intro to construction, and horizontal or vertical construction. And we're still thinking presently, there's still an ongoing discussion of compressing the 4 to 2 or to 1 summer workshop class. So it's depending on so many things that will happen in the next few months. But what we have for the leveling courses presently is 4 courses. Like I said, estimating, scheduling, layouts, horizontal and vertical construction, and intro to construction. Now, it could be either of the 4, but it's just going to be 4 courses that will be taken throughout the program. Now, before anyone is pushed into leveling courses, there are tendencies where we've looked at some people's or some prospective students that have become our students' transcripts, and we found out that, oh, the students had taken a class before now in something that has to do with financial and cost estimating. Then we could waive out some classes from the leveling courses. So we also still do a thorough check of the transcripts to advise on what leveling courses should be taken to guide you into the master's program.
Very good. And then, so what happens at the point that someone is admitted into the program?
Can you rephrase that question so I understand better?
Happens at the point that someone is admitted into the program? What are the next steps in terms of starting their coursework?
All right, so as soon as you're admitted into the program, we will get an email from the graduate school welcoming you in, and we would respond to the email with a list of courses that you'll be advised to register for the semester that you're required to start the program. And so once you get the email from us, you register into the classes, we will then look forward to seeing you in class on the first day of class. Now, it doesn't mean that there cannot be discussions between the time you get the email of classes you're advised to register for and when the class starts. There can be communication, there can be questions that can be asked, there can be discussions or networking that can be done. But the chain of line of activity is the graduate school notifies us of the admission given and welcoming to the program, and we'll send an email telling you these are the courses you should register for the starting semester you want to commence the master's program.
Very good, very good. And so you would work as their advisor during that process, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be the advisor now since I'm the program coordinator, so you get the email from me actually on the courses or the classes you should register for the semester you start.
Very good. Well, this has been so helpful. Thank you so much. To our live audience members, I didn't see any questions from you, but I do want to remind you that this presentation will be available to review on demand on the College of Graduate Studies YouTube channel. So please feel free to go back and rewatch it as needed. And if you know of others who could benefit from this graduate program, we hope that you will share the recording with them as well. And so with that, we will end our webinar. Thank you to our faculty member for joining us today and providing such a great presentation. And thank you to our live audience members. I think with that, we can end the webinar. So we hope you will have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.